Yeah, well, I was born in the north of England, son of a shepherd, and migrated when I was 28-year-old to Australia. Uh, Came out here with a wife and 3 children, and we came to Kinglake West, and then in about 1960 came to Whittlesea, and we've been here ever since. Came out of the Fair Sea. It was an Italian ship run by P&O and had 1,500 migrants, £10 palms, and 500 of those were children. So it was quite a busy trip. Yeah. In Australia, it was terrific at that time. I didn't realise that when we came here on January the 10th, and I didn't realise that at that time Australia was on holiday, and I started looking for work in the worst possible time of the year, and they all said, come back in a fortnight. And I actually got to Whittlesea after trying the town, and I tried Whittlesea, and of course naturally all the shops things which I'd been used to working in were didn't want any labour. But there was a bridge being on the Scrubby Creek Road just outside Whittlesea. They were working on the bridge, and they were doing a pour on following Monday, and they needed a man, so I got a job there. Concrete, which is the first thing I'd never done any concrete before, but it was at that time in England, as a salesman, I was getting, with commission, about £8 a week. And then came to Australia, and as a builder's labourer, I was getting £15 a week. And conditions were very similar. So things were really good at that time in Australia. Yeah. With the work, I got work with this Country Roads Board at that time on that bridge. And then naturally that bridge, the work ceased there and we had to move on. And I moved pretty well all over Victoria with repairing bridges. And this is okay for me, but it wasn't very satisfactory for my wife. She's on her own with 3 kids. And so I had to get another work. And I got work with actually got a move to Whittlesea. And I got work with the Tramways in Melbourne. And I had a little bantam motorbike travel to the depots around Melbourne. I spent all my life with the Tramways. So I was about 35 years with the Tramways. And started on the lowest job in the sheds, stand labourer, and did every job in the sheds that's up to foreman. Yeah, it was a very good town because it had all the sporting activities you wanted. You know, there's the tennis and then there's Australian rules, and then the bowling club was put in. So there was really anything that you wanted, and there was the work in Whittlesea at that time. There was the sawmill, and there was a woolen clothing shop or factory in the RSL building, which is gone now. Yes, then there was, at that time, there was gangs of men working at Wallaby Creek and Toorong and Yanyin. And they looked after the aqueduct as well. It was really very well maintained then. Toorong was a picture then. It was totally different to the setup now. Yeah. It has changed a lot. At one time there was only one tar strip down the centre, and there was 2 grocery shops. There's Mitchell's the Bakers, and there was Mrs. Gibson. And really the shops contributed a lot to the place. Apart from selling the goods, Mrs. Gibson, she kept all cutlery and tablecloths and that sort of thing for weddings, and she used to supply them. And the local Country Women's Association used to supply the food, and the Masonic Hall would be the favourite place for the occasion, and really it made a wedding really within people's means, which is now it's this case where weddings are expensive. It's hard for the young people to have a wedding. At one time we only had one doctor, Dr. J and his wife, and now we've got a team of doctors, 2 teams of doctors in the place. We've got the medical screening sort of business as well, X-rays and that thing as well. But Whittlesea at that time, when we came, was more or less stationary. There was a company, Painsbourne Marsh, they got land to build houses, but it was knocked back, I believe, by the Board of Works for the sake of the water. The Melbourne, with being in between 2 reservoirs, they wanted to keep the water as pristine as possible, and that was squashed. Where now there's development all over the place. Yeah. But at that time, when we first came out, there was also the railway running, and that was really a boon to the place, but due to lack of patronage, that was taken out. Yeah.
And have you travelled back to England at all?
Yeah, I've been back to England, yeah. But just like anything else, things have changed a lot, you know. Yeah. Yeah, where the farmers were employing a lot of people, now with tractors, it's cut the back completely. And where there was a farm place with maybe 6 families, and ploughmen and horsemen, now there's probably 1 family there, and then the rest hold their homes. Yeah. But Whittlesea's changed also. When we came out here, the Plenty Road was between dairy farms, and all the way along those stands for the milk cans and milk collected daily. But now where the milk cans were, it's all housing and all the way along. When riding the motorbike back at night, you'd leave Bundura, and there'd be a single light at South Morang, and then the single light at Mernda on the intersections, and that was it. And it was totally different. It was totally black from the top, leaving the top of Bundura. Yeah.
What kind of motorbike did you have?
I had, in the time, I had BSA, a little BSA, and then I got a 700 Royal Enfield Meteor, which was a wonderful machine. I used to ride it solo to work, and the weekends I used to put a sidecar on, and that was a wonderful machine. She got me around most of Victoria. Yeah.
Mm. And what was it like working for the Tramways?
Well, they're good employers. Naturally, they're not highly paid, but it's good employment, and at that time it was very good. Mm. And it was really first stop for migrants. At that time, every paper had an advert for tramway workers. They were that short of workers. Every paper had adverts saying they wanted drivers, conductors. So it was a good source of employment. Mm.
Do you go and ride the new trams they've got now?
Yeah, actually, I saw the introduction of those new trams. But Melbourne had 700 trams made by themselves before they bought into Swedish trams, and Sweden had only made 50 at that time. But anyway, they got these Swedish trams, and then after that they got German trams and French trams, and now they're making run by a Canadian company. But now the fleet is of bigger trams, much bigger, 3 times the size, the actual tram, but about half the number of trams. So they've got bigger intervals between. But in the morning peak, there was 700, used to be 700 trams on the road in Melbourne. Where the Whittlesea Secondary College is now, that was a big farm at one time. Good, very good for mushrooms. It was a sheep farm. It was actually run by ladies, McLennans. I suppose it was a sheep farm until about 25 years ago. In fact, right around Whittlesea was sheep and dairy, farming. Milky Lane was all, it got the name from Milky Lane from having cows and, dairies. Well, I think the way it is, it's unrestrained building now, and it's going to be built right to the ranges. It's where the place was kept to a certain size because of the water. That's gone by the board now. It looks like it's going to be built right up to the ranges. And actually, the way it is now, it's very good because the amenities are pretty good in Whittlesea. The only fault is Plenty Road. Plenty Road can't cope at all now. It's very bad. But it's a very good place to live still, for people are friendly and everybody coming in is welcomed.
Mm. You've got a good library?
It is a good library, yeah. But a library previous as well. There was the mobile library, and that was very good. And then, but before that, we had the library belonging to the McEachran's Institute, and that was quite good. It was run by the village, and it was quite a good library.